Ramon has been having very bad breakups, wives, girlfriends, and probably even baby mamas. Now, just when he thinks things can't get worse, he finds out that the child he holds so close to his heart out of all the others isn't even his. To top it all off, his wife leaves him to be with the biological father of the child. Fast forward to one more marriage and a baby later, Ramon meets Angela, the love of his life. They have three beautiful kids together, and life treats them fairly okay because they have some support from Angela's parents, who do not live very far from them. Also, Ramon works at a winery where he is still making a little income. However, on one fateful day, Ramon discovers that Sophia, his firstborn, is not actually his. This revelation sends Ramon on a rampage, and this would lead to the story of Ramon Salcido. Hi guys, welcome to True Crime Comment Quest, where we delve into the mysteries of true crime cases that you've requested not just on my channel, or other true crime YouTubers' comments as well, which may or may not have been overlooked. Today's story is gotten from the public because of Chris Watt. Apparently, I personally feel like Ramon Salcido is the inspiration for Chris Watt, because I feel like Chris Watt's story was crazy. I think we can all agree to that. But I feel like the only reason why Ramon Salcido didn't get enough recognition was because there wasn't enough social media at that time. I feel like he did not get the hate that he was deserved to get because there wasn't enough social media presence at that time. So it was just newspapers or whatever TV show was there at the time. So in relation to me going to do a Chris Watts case, a full deep dive down, I'm going to make sure that the video is not as long as others. Okay, so everybody can kind of grasp what Chris Watts did. I'll be doing that in my next video. I just want to, give you the inspo I believe that he got. So now this is the story of Ramon Salcido. So it's the late 1980s, and 27-year-old Ramon Salcido is married to the lovely 24-year-old Angela Salcido. But here's the twist Angela doesn't know about. Ramon never officially divorces his last wife. Neither did she know there's a baby involved even. Poor Angela discovers this bombshell through a letter in the mailbox. Yes, the mailbox. That's right now as equivalent as finding out your husband is married through an Instagram DM. Yeah. How shocking. The letter states that Deborah, his ex-wife, is suing him for child support payments. Sure, this could stir up some drama in their household, but it's nothing that they couldn't work with, right? They would eventually fix it together because they love each other so much. So let's dive into a little backstory on Ramon Salcido. Ramon Salcido was born on the 6th of March in 1961 in Mexico. Ramon dreams of a better life and makes the bold move to illegally cross the border into California. He lands a job at a winery in Sonoma County, where he meets the first woman he ever loves. But after wasting precious time, he finds out that the baby she's expecting isn't even his. And what does she do? She gives birth and immediately leaves Ramon for the real father. Nothing spells heartbreak quite like that. Sorry, Ramon. So Ramon tries to love again with Deborah, but it just doesn't work out, leading to their separation, obviously, even though they have a child together. And then eventually he meets Angela. Angela's parents aren't exactly thrilled to have Ramon as their son-in-law, especially her dad, who has a thing or two against immigrants. And Angela's mother thinks Angela is way out of Ramon's league. I don't know exactly what Ramon could have portrayed for both parents to hate him, but knowing what he did very soon, I 100% believe in their instincts. Okay, her daughter could have literally anyone, and yet she chooses an immigrant struggling to make ends meet. But hey, love conquers all, right? Despite their reservations about him, they still support them at the end of the day because of the love that they have for their daughter, even though they don't think that she should be loving him. Now, Let's not forget about how extremely jealous and paranoid Ramon is. As their marriage progresses, he writes a disturbing narrative in his head. He suspects Angela is cheating on him with his boss from the winery. Why is he thinking like that? I don't know. His paranoia grows so intense that he sometimes drives by their home during work hours, checking for any signs of another car in the driveway. Despite seeing no evidence of infidelity, he remains steadfast in his delusions. On the 13th of April in 1989, Ramon and Angela are at home when Angela suddenly breaks down wailing. I have something I need to tell you. I have something I need to tell you. Ramon, scared out of his mind, asks her, "What's wrong?" And she just says, "Sophia, our first daughter, isn't yours." And she starts bawling her eyes out. Ramon is obviously furious at this news and just he creates a fuss about it, and out of shock and the news that he got, obviously he decides to hit the bar and take some alcohol to blow off some steam. But first, he stops by the winery where he works and steals several bottles of wine to sell to his two friends at the bar. The second friend, Michael, waits outside to collect the wine, which he eventually does. As Ramon heads back into the bar, Michael calls him to do some cocaine. Yeah, they're doing hard drugs over here. Hello, somebody call the police. They snort a few lines together and get excited, obviously, what drugs do, even going back for more. But it gets sold out, so they just decide to go their separate ways. He returns home and opens the door to the room that he shares with Angela. But she's not on her side of the bed. She's just gone, leaving the kids alone in the house. This enrages Ramon, especially since he's high on cocaine and alcohol, making his emotions run wild. In a fit of panic, he wakes his three daughters and sets off to find their mother. As they drive around the neighborhood, they see no sign of Angela, but he keeps going, searching for Angela on the streets of Sonoma. I just honestly cannot imagine. Like, imagine just not, maybe you have a living roommate or your brother or someone you live with just not around and you just decide to just drive around to look for them. Okay, maybe because he knew that she was not carrying the car, so she couldn't have been far off, but still, like, it's quite late at night or very early in the morning and you took the kids with you. Very weird, very weird. About 15 minutes in, his curious second daughter, Carmina, asks, "Papa, where are we going?" He just shoots her an evil eye, like an evil glare, and snaps, "Shut up and sit down." So everyone in the car is terrified, obviously, because they're like, why is their dad just yelling at them for no reason? They were literally asleep. You woke us up and we're asking you right now, where are we going? And the first thing you do is snap. So obviously they are scared and they just sit down in the car terrified because their dad just told them to shut up, with a look in his eyes that they have never seen before. Eventually, Ramon arrives at the county dump where he brutally murders his youngest daughter, Teresa, who was just 22 months old, slitting her throat and slashing her belly multiple times. He then turns on Carmina, aged 3, and Sophia, aged 4, committing the same horrific acts against them. But for Carmina and Sophia, he only sliced their necks from ear to ear. He then returns home and to his surprise, he sees Angela there. After asking Angela some questions, he finds out that she walked to the bank to withdraw a sum of $200 at 5:38 a.m. This transaction is proven through the records, obviously, in file records. But what was she doing out so early, especially since the bank is 2 miles away? I don't know what exactly goes through Ramon's mind, because some sources say he thinks his wife is cheating on him with his boss from the winery. So he shoots her twice in the head and once around her body. Yeah, he definitely thought that she went out to cheat. Meanwhile, she actually just went to withdraw money. Neighbors hear the screams coming from the house, and one neighbor called Roy Curtis notices their pet chihuahua was trembling outside. And that was very unusual because the chihuahua never trembles, at least anytime Roy saw the chihuahua. Yet, this alarming behavior goes overlooked as neighbors continued with their day. They didn't call the police. Nothing. Ramon doesn't stop there. He drives straight to the winery where he works, parks his car, and waits for his boss, Tracy, to arrive. As Tracy pulls in, Ramon walks up to him and says, "You're going to die." Tracy is clearly confused and responds, "Is this because I was going to fire you?" At that moment, it's like a bomb goes off in Ramon's head. He can't comprehend why Tracy would say that. He thinks he's been a good employee. But there is no time for a dialogue. Ramon takes out his gun and shoots him 3 times in the head and once in his arm. If you thought that was the end, think again. As the sun rises over Sonoma County, Ramon is not done. He said, "We're just getting started." He drives to Cotati, to the home of his in laws. The ones I told you hated him? Yeah. Inside, he finds Angela's mother, Marion, sitting on the couch. He pretends to be looking for Angela, but Marion says she hasn't been by. Switching gears, he asks for a screwdriver. The moment she turns to fetch a screwdriver for him, he grabs a car jack and hits her on the head. She collapses to the floor. Her 2 daughters, Ruth and Maria, are in the house. So they come out to check on the noise they had just heard. Little do they know that a psychopath is literally on the loose. Ramon has already picked up his father-in-law's gun and shot them both. But here's the thing. He waits for his father-in-law, the guy with all the racially charged opinions, to head to work first. Why? Probably because Ramon figures it's easier to take out 3 women than deal with a man in the mix. Classic coward move. At this point, Ramon calls his mother back in Mexico, confessing everything he has done. She urges him to return to Mexico to see the family one last time before he follows through with his plan to kill himself, which he also mentions during the call. Ramon then flees to San Francisco, where he boards a 42-hour bus to Mexico to reunite with his family. Unbeknownst to Ramon, his daughter Camina survives. Somehow, he misses her carotid artery, and 36 hours later, she is found beside the bodies of her sister. When she is rushed to Petaluma Valley Hospital, the doctors explain that the only reason she survives is because she was sitting upright. If she had laid down, her tongue would have blocked her airways, as Ramon has literally sliced her throat open. Ramon. Now, after 36 hours of having your throat slashed, what are the odds of survival? Even the doctors say they were pretty slim. This just shows how strong and resilient Carmina is. A few days after her surgery, she often draws pictures of a dog with a red line on its paw and around its neck, whispering, "My daddy did this. My daddy did this." Fast forward now, 5 days after the incident, April 19th, 1989, the Mexican authorities find Ramon in his hometown, Los Mochis, where he's extradited back to the US authorities. The detective in charge of the case is so furious that he straight up says in an interview, "I wanted to throw him out of the airplane at 10,000 feet, but I can't." No, he has to play nice and act like the cops are his only friends just to get a confession out of him. When they ask him for his motive, get this, he blames cocaine and champagne. "Yeah, I killed my 3 daughters and my wife and my in-laws because I was on cocaine and champagne. How nice of you." Yes, because everybody who gets high on coke and alcohol kills 7 people, right? If that were the case, the world would have emptied ages ago. So his motive is obviously discredited by the detective. The trial is a media circus from the start, with so much coverage in Sonoma County that the court has to move the proceedings elsewhere to ensure that the trial is fair. On the 30th of October 1990, after months of testimony and evidence, the jury reaches its verdict. Ramon is found guilty on multiple charges: first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and 2 counts of attempted murder. Then, on November 16th, 1990, the jury makes their final decision. Ramon is sentenced to death. His attorney, Martin Miller, argues that Ramon has been under the influence of drugs and alcohol and, in quotes, had psychotic depression. But that did not fly with the jury. We thank God. Now, Ramon sits on death row in San Quentin, one of the most notorious prisons in California. But here's the catch. He'll probably stay there for a long time. California hasn't carried out an execution since 2006, meaning it's likely Ramon will spend the rest of his life waiting for a death sentence that may actually never happen. 17 years later, Carmina visits him and he apologizes to everyone involved. Ramon claims to have undergone a religious conversion during his time in prison, having completed a mail-in seminary class. Just hate it when people just murder people and just decide to go on a religious run. He has also taken to his ministry into the inmates and even added Reverend to his name. I just cannot deal with murderers who, like, I obviously cannot deal with murderers at all, but the fact that you kill your family, wow, that is absolutely deranged. It's deranged, it's crazy, and yeah, just off the top of the charts. I cannot believe he did not get much hate like Chris Watts did, because he would have gotten much more hate than Chris Watts. Trust me. He just did it in the wrong time and age. That's why a lot of people don't know about him. That's why I'm telling you about him, so you guys can know what a loser he is. Yeah, that will be the end of today's case. I'll see you guys in my next one.